Is it too late to start building your personal brand?
Absolutely not. If you've been through some stuff, you're 40 years old, maybe you've unfortunately had a divorce, or heaven forbid you've lost a child, or just you've had some real life stuff, you have a lot of value to share with folks.
Here's the framework of Michael Zuber, $250,000 framework.
I don't have a plan. I don't have a team. I don't have any marketing. It's generated over $1 million by accident. And it all started with...
Welcome back to the department, Mr. Michael Zuber.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here.
I have called you or deemed you the $250,000 personal brand.
Oh, wow. That's very nice.
That's pretty accurate, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring you back on and have this conversation that actually we made a video previously a couple months ago called Content Advice for People over 40.
I saw that. Yep.
And it just, the way it resonated was very surprising. I think what it did was like, it made people like raise their hand. The comment sections were so rich, and there were like paragraph comments of people saying like, I have so much that I would love to share about. And so I'm sure people are like still stuck at like, where do I get started? And I think your approach was very, it's like, it's an accessible approach,
right?
You know, and I think you give people a permission to not feel like they need to like try hard. But I did want you to start this off by just answering this question.
Okay. Is
it too late to start building your personal brand?
Absolutely not. I think, especially if you're over 40, the beauty of being over 40, and again, I started building my brand at 45. I'm now 52, right? So I'm 6-7 years into this thing.
You look amazing. And you just told us you're about to run a marathon.
I am. The Vegas Marathon, baby. Go November 3rd to be my first one.
Young soul right here. I love it.
Got to do something hard every year. But no, so it's you can absolutely, I would argue you should be building your brand in your 40s. And you got to watch the word brand. And especially in the world of social media, because people will gravitate to, you know, Gary Vee or Alex Hormozi or, you know, the legends. But you can just be a little guy like me and just do, my thing was rental real estate, and it's generated over $1 million by accident.
Wow.
Right. I don't have a plan. I don't have a team. I don't have any marketing, nothing. And it all started with picking up my phone and talking to the camera. No editing, no thumbnails, no vidIQ, nothing. Just
was there a reason why you went to YouTube to start that as opposed to another platform? Yeah,
absolutely. Because it seemed like it was the most accessible, and it didn't cost me anything. I already had a phone. I actually remember using my earbuds in the mic for like the first 1,000 videos.
With the wire?
With the wire.
Which, by the way, is a nice little life hack. Yeah. Because that microphone's amazing.
It is.
Like probably the best $20 microphone.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But the real key for somebody in their 40s is, and the reason they should do it now is they're likely still working, right? Because when you're building a personal brand and you're watching social media today, a lot of folks get attracted to it because they hear brand and think money.
Right.
And what I have seen is if you want to grow a brand fast, and it's usually because you need money now, right? You need to pay rent now. You need to buy food now. You're going to have to go down the path of fear and crash and negativity, because that's how you get clicks, and that's how you can grow AdSense rather quickly.
Yeah.
If you're in your 40s and you have something you love, and you have likely loved it for at least a decade, but probably 2, you're not interested in the fear of it. You want to share this gift that you have acquired over a couple of decades with the world, and just share it out there in a positive light. And again, the first 50 videos, nobody's going to watch, but you will feel like you're contributing to the world.
I love that.
And then you just get consistent. You get a little bit better every day. You make a little bit of changes, and you could really build a community, right? So again, what I would tell somebody in their 40s, everybody I know 40 and above, they have a hobby that they've done for probably 2 decades. And it could be anything. It could be classic cars. It could be Pokemon cards. It could be Nike shoes. Whatever it is. If you have one of those 2 passions, pick up the camera and start talking about it. And then as you get older, right, if you fast forward like where I am, right, so you start at 45, you have no idea what you're doing. You've never paid a coach in your life. And 7 years later, you've got a community online of 60,000 subscribers. You've got 18 million watches. You got 10 million podcasts. You sold one best-selling book and a second book. It can all happen. You just one day at a time.
Yeah. One rental at a time.
One rental at a time. There you
go. Which is Michael's YouTube channel. You said like do your first like 60, 100 videos. Like how many videos did you do that like nobody watched? Because like you have like over 13,000 videos.
I do. Well, I'll tell you this. When I went back and looked one time, I wasn't monetized for 1,000 videos. I did 1,000 videos before I was paid a penny.
That's wild.
1,000, not 100, not 10, 1,000.
Yeah.
Most people would give up.
Right.
But I wasn't doing it for the money.
Yeah.
That's the hack.
Yeah. And I think that's like it's something that Rory Vaden taught, or he kind of leads with this, is like we should always have a why when we start something, right? Like always have a strong enough why. My friend Peter Voog says reasons come before results. But something I love that Rory pointed out was that most of the time, pretty much all the time, your why is a who. And when you have the who that you're trying to serve and help and connect with, and I think sometimes it goes, because there's two different approaches in regards to showing up. You can be the source of information and be the educator, which is kind of the route you kind of took. And then you can also be the community leader or the facilitator. So if it is the Pokemon or sport cards or memorabilia, whatever, like you're kind of like a community leader. And that's kind of what you're building. Like I mean, it's fascinating because like you got 1,000 videos, not so much traction. What was your biggest lesson on a YouTube strategy standpoint from doing 1,000? Like, or what did start taking traction?
It's funny because again, when you started, at least when I started a channel, I had no idea what I was doing. You can actually go back and look at my playlists and you can see that I tried all kinds of things. Yeah. Right. This, that, and just nothing really hit until I started doing the daily financial news. So I've been doing the daily financial news now for probably 5.5 years. It was 7 days a week for the first 3 years. Now it's 5 days a week. That one show people can count on 7:30 a.m., 99% of the days, Sunday through Thursday. And it has about 250 people that watch live because they know it's 7:30, 7:31. Zuber is going to be there. And then about 4,000 or 5,000 people will watch that by the end of the day. Hey, Department fam, wanted to take a brief break from this conversation. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is that, did you know that 75% of the people that watch this podcast on YouTube actually aren't subscribed, which is a high chance that you're not subscribed. So number one, I want to say thank you for listening or watching the podcast. And number two, if you can hit that subscribe button, that would be amazing. The second thing is, if you are an entrepreneur, content creator, or somebody looking to make money online, I want to encourage you to come to this online event called the Content to Cash Challenge. This is a special 5-day event that's going to give you access to the system I use in my business to make multiple 6 figures with my content. If you've been desiring to either get your business and brand more exposure, grow a YouTube channel, whatever it is when it comes to video, I would encourage you to jump into the Content to Cash Challenge. We'll be sure to post the link to the challenge down in the show notes or the description. And I want to encourage you to jump into the VIP experience. This will give you access to a 1-hour Q&A call every day of the challenge. This will guarantee myself to answer a personalized question you may have. So I'll see you on the Content to Cash Challenge. Now let's jump back into the conversation. So good. I love that. Like, that's pretty powerful. Yeah. I would argue that like local news isn't even getting like that much. No, I wouldn't think so. Which is crazy that you built something significant like that. Here's a cool thought. Have you ever considered like putting a link in your description that puts the live stream on people's calendars? Like, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, like that's why they pay me the big bucks. I had no idea that could happen. So like, I mean, like I think what it would do, it would just be it's like a fun call to action. Yeah. Hey, if you're somebody who loves listening to this and you want to be on the live, sometimes you don't get the push notification or what have you. Why don't you just throw this on your calendar and it'll just ping you? And so there's a website. Didn't even know you could do that. Yeah, called Calendarly. Kind of like a Zoom call. When you set up a Zoom call, it gets on people's calendars.
But I mean, for the real ones,
Right.
that would be something cool.
Nice.
So I want to point out something that you tapped into that actually it will kill a limiting belief, and that is the feel or the thought that you have to edit your videos and cut out your mistakes.
No.
I would say if you are starting out on any platform, start with unedited content.
100%. If you wrap yourself around the axle of trying to make it perfect or better, you will at best significantly reduce your learning curve, because it's all about at bats.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about practice. You won't learn the rhythm, the all of that, the hook, right? The first 10 seconds. Yeah, I would tell everybody to do non-edited videos.
Yeah.
I think it's actually going to, if you fast forward a year, the whole highly produced stuff, I think it's going away. I think it's going to be far more.
Yeah, that's what we did. We did a podcast called like 3 Trends That Died This Year, content trends, and that was one of them.
I think so.
Overstimulating or like
jump cuts. And
yeah, just a bunch of stuff. And the thing is because I think it's not just that people are tired of working like just like content being in their face like that. It's that I believe there is a large group of people that desire to just learn and consume and relax while they listen, watch somebody.
Yeah. It's funny. The other thing that I, just take a right turn here. The thing that I think changed this year is for the last 3 to 4 years, I've had a lot of people ask me how to, like, how'd you do it? Right. What are the 1, 2, 3 steps?
They always want it in 3 steps.
Yeah. Whatever. Right. Maybe 5. But the whole idea is there was a lot of stuff that you could do there. And I had a teachable course and all of that. But I don't think that's where people are today. I think people today want a community, right? They want to be, it used to all be virtual and all this stuff. Now they want to go in real life, right?
Yep.
These challenges that you do are pretty amazing. I've been watching from afar. And I think it's about community going forward.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely been a big change this year.
Yeah. And leveraging, gathering people online around your, brand, and then like just put a date on the calendar and gather people. You did that last year.
Yeah.
What were like some of the first thoughts that came to mind, like as far as like will people even come? Like, did you even have those thoughts?
Yeah. So we put on a 50,000 sub celebration here in Vegas last President's Day weekend, and I didn't know what to expect. Right. In my career, I had put on lots of events and 1,000 people and all of that. So I knew the basic building blocks. But the problem with putting on events is it's always the audience that makes it. Right.
Yeah.
You could be in some events and the audience is just sitting there taking notes, living in their little bubble, not socializing. Or you can have an event like I was at, or we ran, and everybody was talking to everybody, networking. It was like you could just feel the energy, the positivity of the room growing. It's addicting. I remember going home because I'd only promised to do it one time. And I remember going home the first night and I couldn't sleep. And that if you know anything about me, that doesn't happen.
Wow.
I couldn't sleep. I felt like I was levitating on the bed. It was wild. So we're going to do it again in February. You're speaking at.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm pumped. And I honestly, I loved seeing it. I love seeing like the inception of things. And then even just what my brain does is just like, how did one get here? And that's why I love like even just having, continuous conversations. I know we're always like brainstorming and you hit me up and we think through some things. And honestly, it comes from a place of like, how can we better serve people where they're at? Which kind of like, I think is a challenge people have. Like you made so many videos. I think people would probably wonder, okay, I might have 3 to 5 videos in my head that I can do without, and just like.
Well, let me give you a hack for that.
Yeah. So like, how can you get unlimited video ideas?
Unlimited video. So again, the beauty of what I've done is, let me say it this way. If I had to do solo content, I would do the daily financial news and nothing else.
Okay.
Right. Because it changes every day.
Yeah. Which if we just break that down, that's you taking on something that's going on in the world.
And be clear, it's something I've done for 30 years.
Yeah.
I've just talked to a camera for the last 7 years or whatever it's been. But yeah, I get up in the morning very early. I read the financial news for about 90 minutes. Now I take notes and then I talk to a camera. Yeah. But I did that for 30 years.
Yes.
That's my morning routine.
Right.
But now I do, 3 or 4 videos a day because I've attracted 12 to 15 other millionaires in real estate with different experiences. And we talk for, I have everybody scheduled for, an hour a day.
Yeah.
So what I would tell someone is if you have your thing, let's just call it Pokemon cards for just to have fun. Go find other folks that like Pokemon cards and schedule an hour call on Tuesday and another one on Friday. And, maybe some guy doesn't do Pokemon cards. They do basketball cards and talk about the differences and that's and this. If you have true passion for something and someone else does, topics are
so good.
Just quick, 60 seconds, done. Let's go.
Yeah. And I love that you're leveraging, rather than leveraging like practical information, which I think is something you probably pull out. You pull out the principles.
Of course.
But like, you're not having to come up with the content. It's telling stories.
We have real people doing real things.
Right.
What happened in your business this week?
Yeah.
Right. What are you refining? Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you evicting? Rent? I mean, we all have real businesses in real estate. And it's if you just attract 2 or 3 other people, you have unlimited content.
So good. And I love it. It's like the interview style is what I love it, because like the reason why I even chose podcasting was because I could come up with content weekly. But I know the power of leveraging somebody else's expertise or somebody's story.
Right.
And then the work required on my end is just to like position and package this conversation in a way that would get the best viewership as possible.
Right.
But I love seeing a friend of ours. I think you're cool with Brian Davila.
Yeah.
Who's a real estate investor, who somebody would look like a traditional person would look at his podcast and think, I mean, he's not getting that many views, but I see that he gets about 1,000 views like as soon as he drops a podcast conversation, which that tells me that everyone in that clicks that is into the idea of real estate, but his qualification for interviewing people is simply somebody that's doing it.
Right.
And so here's what he's leveraging. He's leveraging the stories, what did you do differently? What was the challenges you had? Which I think is just wise, because then you don't run out. You will never run out.
You can't run out.
You can't. Yeah.
You can't run out.
And I think that's a great unlock that you found with even doing a solo thing, bringing your commentary. I think that's like something that people don't realize, that like, like because you've had 10, 20, 30 years in the thing you've been interested in, the amount of commentary you have around it is unlimited.
No, and again, when you really care about something and you put out content for a while, you will find your tribe, you'll find your other folks. That community then becomes really like a family. And then if you wanted to monetize it, there's endless ways of monetizing all of that.
Which I'd love to get into. Can you try to speak to somebody? So like, I think the sport cards, like the cars, coffee, food, whatever, like those are travel.
Travel. Yeah.
What would you say about somebody who wants to do something more like life, like I'm thinking about people that want to like help couples with marriage?
I think one of the things I heard somewhere, I don't remember where it was, we have too many 18-year-old life coaches.
Yeah.
Right.
No, 100.
No. Yeah. It's like, that's kind of wild, right? But if you've been through some stuff, you're 40 years old, maybe you've unfortunately had a divorce, or heaven forbid you've lost a child, or just you've had some real life stuff, you have a lot of value to share with folks. And let's be clear, sometimes sharing that also removes some of the burden from yourself.
That's good.
Because you'll be helping people. So sometimes it's a healing process. At least that's what, like whenever I get grinding on something, I got to share it. Right. And maybe that'll be a healing thing. But yeah, if you're 40, 50, you've been through some stuff, we got a lot, we can help people.
Yeah.
And again, just think about it. What did you go through when you were in your 20s? Yeah, you bought you had some dumb relationships. Your friends sucked because they're out partying, and
which is all worth talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, you're 20 years in, you can tell them what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
by the way, my friend got addicted and then he got fired and he lost his wife, and don't go down. It's a slippery road.
Right.
Right. So I think if you're in your 40s or 50s, you have something.
Yeah.
You have value. I don't think enough people realize that.
Would you be able to speak to this? Like how does one become a good storyteller? So let's say like I want to tell a story about
that takes practice, and I don't claim to be very good at it. What I would tell people, the story, you can read books on it, you can do practice, but you've got to tell the story and close. I mean, there is a framework for telling a story. That takes practice, just
Yeah.
like public speaking.
That's good.
It's a practice.
How has making videos made you a better public speaker?
Oh, I can definitely pull on a lot of different strings
Mhm.
now. I'd always been a decent public speaker because I'd spoken in front of thousands of people before. But video's a different game, right? We're sitting in a studio now. There's probably like 4 cameras and 7 lights and like all the stuff around us. I don't even see it,
Yeah.
right? You know, in the beginning, it's like terrifying.
Yeah.
Right. It just feels like you and I are here. But you can just block that stuff out. But it's practice.
Sweet.
And I wouldn't even call it practice. Just do the work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just-
You can't
just-
skip it.
Yeah. Just record, stop, upload, move on.
Yeah.
And don't grind on
Make
it.
it that
Don't,
simple.
and just worry about the next one.
I love it. You know, it's funny because like my approach is I actually, my time horizon with even this podcast is like, it will evolve with me.
Mhm. And
one day I'll literally just be like shooting it in I don't know if we'll have a farm or something, but this is my retirement plan.
That's what I want 40 and 50-year-olds to realize. You're 10 or 15 or 20 years away from retirement.
Right.
You already have something you love. Why don't you take 1 hour a week, create one video or have one podcast conversation with someone else that loves the same thing? Do that for a decade, right? You'll have 500 videos. You'll probably have 10,000 to 100,000 followers. And then you can do that into retirement. That was my mistake.
Yeah.
My big mistake in life was quitting my job on a moment's notice. I had no plan. Think about being 45 years old. You already have enough money to pay all your bills. You have enough money you can eat out all the time and travel when you want to travel, right? That stuff is set. But you're freaking depressed.
Yeah.
Like suicidal thoughts
Yeah.
because you're not contributing.
Yep.
Don't do that. I should have been building one rental at a time at least 5 years earlier. So I could have rolled into something
Yeah.
and not missed a beat. It was a huge mistake.
Create the momentum. So what was like so you're making these videos, years go by, people are starting to like maybe pull on, maybe they're asking you questions and in your mind, you're like, how do I do something off platform?
Right.
What was the first thing you did that was like, I'm going to do something off platform?
So, part of the, I still look at all my comments, right? I don't have a team
same.
around me, right? So I still look at all the comments. So in the beginning, the comments were just the next videos. But after a while,
That's good.
you started to or at least I started to realize in my space, a lot of the questions were repetitive. So what I decided to do with that information is create, at the time I created a $49 course on Teachable off platform.
So that was the first thing
off platform was Teachable. It was basically, I don't know, I remember what it was, 10 or 15 common questions, right? And then it sort of morphed from there. But yeah, I would take, YouTube will always be where I do most of the work.
Yeah.
And then I monetize kind of around it, right? So now we have 2 books on Amazon, both are on Audible. We have the Teachable thing. We have just launched a school community. We get some affiliate links. It's wild. It's wild to me.
Have you done any brand deals?
I've not done a brand deal yet.
I mean, I just signed my first brand deal with this.
Nice.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
80K.
Nice.
For a year of just saying, check out this stuff
that
I actually love already.
Yeah.
So
Well, that works, right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty is you get to stay loyal to the stuff you like. But
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't. Nobody's asked near as I can tell. But and also I don't reach out. I don't market. I don't have a one sheet kind of who is.
I mean, yeah, you got the stuff dialed with the.
I don't know.
too.
See, it's really funny. I sometimes this is a challenge I have. I sometimes look at where I'm at, and let's just say the brand one rental at a time will make $250,000 this year.
Yeah.
All in. That's with no overhead. So that's like what 95% margin.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And I have to think about, what would happen if I found somebody to run a couple of ads? If I had somebody, create a funnel, a landing page. I don't have any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, what could we do? And then I step back and go, oh, that sounds hard. That sounds like work. I don't want to do that.
No, yeah.
But I think about that a lot.
Yeah, I think but okay, I don't want to peruse through some of those things. Like what did it look like when you launched that Teachable course?
So when I launched Teachable, it was probably 2 years into YouTube. So I probably had 8,000-ish subscribers. So not great, but
yeah.
8,000-ish. And I just announced it. Again, I never marketed, didn't have any ads, did any of this. Everything I do is on YouTube. I just said, hey guys, you guys ask these questions all the time. I just created this $49 blah, blah, blah. And I sold like, I don't know, $5,000 in like 2 months or something. I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah.
I'd never done anything like that.
And I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize that like social media, YouTube is they're feedback engines. When you give it information, you get feedback from the platform telling you like, hey, maybe consider making this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get feedback from the people watching your content. And I think it's a funny continuous like progressive loop where it's like, I put out great content. People tell me what they want to hear, or things even like, hey, you got this wrong. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad now I know.
Yeah.
I know because I put the content out.
Right.
And then I'm better because of it. And then the next piece is even better. And then like you grow over time as a creator, you know?
Yeah. So I definitely consider myself a YouTube creator now, or a YouTuber, whatever that is. I pushed back on that probably the first 4 or 5 years. But I mean, when you spend, I spend 15 hours a week on platform, right? Creating content for it. That's what I am. But again, for the 40-year-olds out there, you don't have to do as much as I do.
Yeah. Right.
Right. I'm doing this to feel like I'm contributing. My mission, again, this is what I wake up every day thinking about. My mission is to create something that outlives my physical body by 50 years. That's what I'm playing for. It's not another dollar. It's not another unit. It's for people to say nice things about me 50 years after I'm dead.
So good.
So that's why I show up every day. Yeah. Because that mission hasn't changed. It was on my very first video.
Fire. I want to steal your idea of making a book from your content. So you said you have 2 books.
I do.
What was the first book you created?
The first book was actually the answer to being depressed. I had never done a good job of looking at my history. So One Rental at a Time, the best-selling book, One Rental at a Time, is basically one guy reminiscing about his 20 years in the business. It's very much written for me. It just happens that people really love the book. But then what I did in my second book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires, is I took 15 unique videos from 15 different people. One of them is me, Kevin, for example. And I broke down their stories in a chapter. And they're 15 different stories. This is why it's great to get on different interviews and all that. I love it. And that book almost wrote itself. I just had to write an intro for each chapter and a wrap up. And it was just the conversations. So absolutely, your content, you're the creator, you could architect it, could absolutely become a book, and probably several books.
Did you use like a company or?
No, I did it myself. And then I had somebody
transcribe.
Yeah, I did transcribe, right? Audio to it, and you had to clean up some of the words.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did that all myself.
Dude, that's sick. I'm excited. 2025.
Write a book.
I mean, like some of the conversations have really resonated, and they've been, some of them are story driven. Some of them are very like practical, tactical, but I feel like I could release a book on how to build an online business with a personal brand.
Absolutely. And you should.
Yeah. And this conversation could be in there.
Good.
So congratulations, you're a co-author.
No.
Did you have to get people to sign something?
Nope. I see what I did in that book. I could have gone down that route, but I didn't name anybody.
Oh, wow. That's the difference.
That's the difference. So, but I did say in the book, if you want, I had a playlist of all the creators. So if you want to go back and get the video, you can go get the video, but I didn't name anybody.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't have to ask permission.
That's really good. Dang, that's freaking. But what's cool is like for me, like the names would probably be like an added authority play, but I would have to go then reach out.
It's just more legwork, and I didn't want to, because I had Elena Cardone and I had all these other, I'm like, I'm not going to go through all the lawyers and stuff. Forget it.
And from these books that you've written after putting out content, like how have those
I still make $1,000 a month.
Wow.
On Amazon Books and about 600 on Audible. So
good.
Let's call it 1,500.
That's really cool.
And the first book's like 8 years old.
Yep. And what's cool about that is like, there's something powerful about having something physical in people's homes.
Oh, absolutely. I have people come up to me, a couple of times a month with the book where I'm at, and they want me to autograph it. You want to get a real ego boost, have someone autograph your book, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And that's what you've probably created in an industry. And maybe you don't like the word, but like a celebrity factor.
Yeah. certainly don't like that word, but
It's
again,
true.
you know,
People want to take selfies with you.
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
People want to shake your hand.
Yeah, I get spotted. I get spotted out there. Yeah. So I mean, just for an example, right? Meet Kevin had an event in Vegas. I want to call it 3 months ago. Right, Ben Mala was there and some other folks, and I got up to speak last, and I was talking to people in the audience longer than I spoke on stage.
Yeah.
The line was like, I don't know,
cool.
70 people or something. It was pretty wild. I was wild. I was blown away.
Yeah. I mean, you've created an approachability with your brand. I mean, you're like, you're the millionaire next door.
Yeah.
Like,
I would love that. I would take that as a compliment.
Yeah. And, which I think is really cool. Cause like in a world where like fame and influence marketing and all this stuff, it's like some people don't realize is they're actually creating a wall between your ability to be approached. I think like going back to kind of what we said a few minutes ago about the community aspect is everything. Like, cause I feel challenged with that. I'm like, dude, why don't I do meetups? Like when I land in a city, part of it is like, I get a little bit insecure. Like, will anybody show up? Or I don't know, what if weirdos come? You know, like it's all those things where it's like, no, or people are really cool and they just want to hang. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you get a book, you do those kinds of things. It'll become a natural for you. Yeah.
So, I would say like, what would you feel like is like the next wave for you being like, I mean, you're a veteran creator, I guess at this point, if you're 7 years in.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to try, or what do you feel like?
Well, the good news is so the one thing about me is I don't feel like I always have to improve. Right. One of the things I love about you, and you still coach me on all the time, is my opening 3 seconds. I love how you come over. Like we have a conversation. You're like, this is what I do. Bam, bam, bam. I'm like, how do you do that? It's like, I wrote it down and I'm like, how does Omar do that? But also I don't beat myself up on it
For sure.
because I know my tribe.
Yeah.
Right. I don't grow fast. I add about 25 new subs a day, right? 25 to 35 a day. All right. So I'll eventually get to 100,000, but it's years from now.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Because again, I'm not about, if you want to grow fast, you got to go negative. I'm chasing impact.
Yeah.
It's just, if you are going to be a creator, you can either chase money or chase impact.
Yep.
I am only chasing impact. I am playing a fundamentally different game than most people.
Yeah. Dude, you're like the most content person that I know.
I am very content. Yes. I'm content, lucky. And I get to help people every day. I have these little cards I give out. This is another great thing I did. I have a golden ticket, which anybody who does the work and they get the first deal, I send them a golden ticket. I give them a shout out on the daily financial news.
That's cool.
And then I got these black cards. You can get as many black cards as you want, right? Second deal, third deal, fourth. Like some people have gotten 20 of these.
Wow.
And then I give them a shout out, right? So I did 2 this morning. I forget who they were, Matt and Mark, I think, something like that. But the idea is it's as much for them as for me. I send these 2 cards out. I help them, right? I've sent out almost 2,500 or 2,600 cards in total.
Wow.
I've helped 2,600 people get a deal, let alone, the 20,000 people that watch my stuff a day.
Right.
Right. This is like financial impact. So,
yeah, dude, it's like video is impact on automation.
Right. Yeah.
It's overwhelming sometimes, like, cause you're in your world, right? You got your house in Vegas, you do your thing. You don't really come into contact with too many people on a weekly basis, physically.
Correct.
But yeah, I think sometimes I forget. I forget the amount of people that have watched the content and stuff because I don't feel it. It's like
I would definitely steal that. I mean, I don't know what it would be for you. Maybe it's somebody who creates their first 10 videos or some number. Have them tell you they've done it and just create a card, man. And it's, it's a little 3x5 card or whatever. It's probably big, 5x7, I guess, and mail it to them. But again,
that's really
not
cool.
only they love it. I have people with it on their walls and their fridge, but it means something to me.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, there's 2 more in the mailbox. There's 2 more in the mailbox. It's a kick.
Really cool. So, okay. Can you give me some like financial wisdom then? Like,
sure.
Like coach me.
Of course.
I've coached you.
Of course.
Okay. So like we have a lot of money in the bank.
Cash.
And And like, I know like the thing that I hear your voice in my mind is discretionary income. Dude, we have so much discretionary income. It's insane. However,
good problem to have.
It is a good problem. I just don't know sometimes in this regard when it comes to like investing is where to draw the line between fear and wisdom. Like, because sometimes maybe it should sting a little bit. I don't know. Sting as in like, you know, seeing the money go if we get a property or okay.
So not the sting of a loss, it's the sting of risk.
Yes.
That is something you're going to get comfortable with. It's sort of like buying shoes or buying cars. You know, the first time is always the hardest. Second time's a little less hard. And then by the fifth time, you're like,
not going to kill
nothing.
me.
Yeah, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
Right? So, there's something to be said for that. But again, I think what a lot of people who have discretionary income, where I see them fall down is they try to skip the line. Mm-hmm. They say things like, I got 100 grand or 200, whatever the number is. And they just almost throw it into the wind. They find somebody with a good story. They didn't vet them. They didn't double check, and they get burned. They get taken, right? People who have money, at least in my world, are not exempt from doing the work. What is your buy box? Have you looked at your buy box every day? Have you understand what an average deal is? Are you writing disrespectful offers? Are you following up every 7 days? What I do takes work. It's just like learning golf, right? You go to the driving range, you swing 1,000 times. Yeah. Then you go to a muni course, and then you go to a nicer course. You don't just go to the nice course, you be an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? There's a process to this. There's a process to investing. So what I would tell someone like you is find your thing. It doesn't have to be properties. It could be stocks. It could be index funds. Find your thing. Spend an hour a day on it for 30 days. Then you and I get together and talk about it, then do another 30 days, and pretty soon you'll be investing. It takes work. It takes work.
When did you start the idea of investing my income?
So I started investing probably when I was 24 or 25, right? Other than a 401k, which I didn't really count. So we were having discretionary income in the stock market. And I successfully turned 7 grand into almost 200 grand in about 2.5 years. Problem. I started by doing the work, reading financials, going deep on a company, looking at their balance sheet, and I was doing okay. I started doing less work and having better returns. And then I started gambling, and I was still winning.
Oh, wow.
I remember one day, Olivia and I were in Hawaii, and we bought some options. We went to breakfast. We came back and we made like 10 grand. Pure speculation, pure gambling. What I didn't realize at the time is we were investing into a bubble, and that bubble popped and I lost 80%.
Oh, wow.
But I owned that. That was my mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I went from being an investor doing the work to somebody who gambled and speculated. And then what I came to realize in my case is I didn't have the luxury of continuing to do that depth of work in the stock market. And of course I was burned. I was bitter. I invested in two companies that were frauds, WorldCom and Enron. If you don't know what those are, look them up. They're just nasty frauds. And I was bitter about the stock market. So I didn't touch the stock market for 15 years after that.
Wow.
But
what would you say collectively that loss was? Make me feel good about a loss I had a year ago.
Well, again, I had about 200 grand. I lost 80. So it was 160 grand.
Wow.
Gone.
So,
like 2.5 weeks. Gone.
How much would you say people that you see are successful? Is there a pattern there?
I see a lot of, so it's really an age. So I see a lot of folks early in life have a good run. And we've seen this just in the last couple of years in our space of real estate and social media. And then they get cocky. And once you get cocky, the universe is going to smack you. Right? There's just something about it that's, circle of life, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of people that get smacked, and some people never come back, and some people learn the lesson. It's like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. I always have to keep doing the work.
Yeah, the Bible would call that the principle. It's just pride. Pride, you get humbled.
Yes.
That's.
I remember, this is really funny. I remember saying in 2001, I think it was, I'm smarter than Warren Buffett. And if you ever say that, no, you're not. Yeah. That's a bad thing to say, right? Yeah, I remember saying that. I remember I told Olivia that. I was like, man, I'm turning wine into gold or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Water in the wine.
Okay, so big loss, put off stocks, and then
then I knew two things. Wasn't never going to do stocks again. I was going to do real estate, and I dove in. I consumed endless amount of material until I figured out my core principles, right? Focus, AKA buy box, daily discipline, look every day. I didn't even do the hard stuff, right? I just bought off the MLS.
wow.
I didn't do mailers and all this other stuff you see people like Ryan Pineda and Brian Davila and all those folks doing. I didn't do any of that stuff.
Mhm.
Didn't wholesale stuff, didn't do any of that. I did my day job and I bought real estate, on the side. So,
And yeah, because like I think the tension we're in right now is we're like thinking maybe we should move into our next house and then rent out the house we're in.
a lot of people do that. I mean, some people call that being an accidental landlord. I think it's a genius move. If that's the plan, I think a lot of people should do that, especially in your age group, right? The first house you get is not your forever home,
Right?
but it could be a rental,
For sure.
and then
I just sometimes feel like I could do the wrong thing by us like upgrading rather than just staying in our house and just like hold it down for a little bit more and then get an investment property. Like,
well, let's have this conversation, because that a lot of people, and that's like, you don't have to, what I'm hearing you say is you don't, like, you're not out of bedrooms, right? You got enough bedrooms for the kids.
yes,
and, right. You're
it's
good.
just like we want to entertain a little bit. I'd love to actually have like host some like masterminds and stuff at the house, But yeah, that thing, like it would be nice to have a little more space.
Yeah,
especially as the kids are getting bigger.
Well, I think your kids are going to start getting bigger and bigger. I don't think it's a bad idea. I really don't think it's a bad idea. Especially if you do the work, you get a good deal, right? Don't pay list price or anything silly like that.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with turning your existing home into a rental and calling that your first rental.
Yeah,
you do have an investment property at that point.
Right.
It's that, and then you're in and again, you get the best financing because it's an owner occ, and you get all those other benefits.
Yeah, got the VA loan.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Good stuff, dude. That's very helpful. What do you need from me?
Oh, I just need you to keep being who you are. Keep helping me when I ask questions.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. I keep doing, and sometimes maybe I should slow down and ask for help.
No, yes. Yeah, I got you. Because as long as I use your story on my web class, bro, ask me whatever you want.
Yeah, keep going, man.
Dude,
full permission.
I created so it's kind of like how I end the web class. I'm like, all right, here's the last story I'll tell about this awesome friend of mine. It's a picture of us on our last podcast
Nice.
we did. And I'm like, this is Michael Zuber, who, I tell the story a little bit, who got retired and 3 weeks in, just like didn't like life. So started turning on a camera and started teaching. And then I said, but here's the framework of Michael Zuber. Here's the $250,000 framework. Number one, he knew his audience.
Yep.
Like, you knew who you were talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you created content for that audience.
Correct.
And number three, you tended the content you were creating, meaning you were listening and
Yep.
you were improving
Evolving,
little by little,
yeah. Yep.
evolving. And it's an acronym for ACT. Like, you took action.
Nice.
And then I go into my office.
Oh, I didn't know I was part of your. Oh, that's awesome. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, dude, you're the coolest dude in the world, man. Honestly, look, it came with the Jordan 1s with the purple. The
Purple's my color.
one rental.
I had to get these.
Yeah. Yeah. Where can people find you? And,
I've done very few things right in life, but one rental at a time is everything. YouTube, website, books, school, everything. One rental at a time.
Yeah, we'll link up some stuff below. I would say it would be really wise to subscribe, especially for that daily show you do.
Yeah, the daily financial news. I mean, people tell me all the time, almost daily, they don't even watch the news anymore. It's
So
12,
good.
15 minutes. It's not political. It's none of this other nonsense. It's boom, boom, boom. Fed said this, economic data that, key earnings this.
Yeah. So good.
Just-
No, I love it. I think it's really good for everyone. That's how you made your niche have broad appeal.
Yeah.
So like, you're not a generalist.
Yeah.
However, you're leveraging financial literacy to open up the door into real estate investing or just investing in general, which is actually
Absolutely
brilliant.
right. I think in the beginning I was very much, 99% real estate, but now I would call it more finance.
Yeah.
And just understanding economies.
really good. What would you say? Like, what is your projection for the next year?
Oh, dude, I just said it this morning. I think 2025 is going to be a very hard year for most people. flip that over, it's going to be a pretty great year for a few.
Mm.
I think next year is going to have higher cost of capital, interest rates. I think the economy at best is going to be stuck in stagflation, if not an all-out recession. I think there's going to be, I think if you get unemployed, you will be unemployed for a longer time, right? Because we don't have the same amount of job openings on the JOLTS report. The worst thing I can say for folks is it feels very much like 81, 82.
Mm.
And if you don't know, 1981 and 82 was a horrible back-to-back nasty recessions, high inflation. It was yuck. I think that's what we're headed for. Now, why is it a good year for some? Well, if you have dry powder, if you are an investor, if you aren't overburdened by debt, you're going to be able to pick up some assets on the cheap. So that's what I'm looking forward to do.
Dude, that's I actually find encouragement in that, because
you should.
I think it's just because like I'm 33 and I'm seeing cycles, right? And I think that's the every time the cycle comes around the first time, you're like, dang it. Yeah, you're too afraid. And what does Warren Buffett say? When everybody's afraid, get greedy, and when people are greedy, slow down.
That's exactly what you should be thinking. Again, the thing about finance and the cycles, you're absolutely right. You're 33. You're going to probably live through 5 or 6 recessions.
Mm-hmm.
Most wealth is built in a recession.
Right.
You might recognize it during the expansion, but here's the deal. You make your money when you buy, not when you sell.
Yeah.
So if a guy like you could make 2 or 3 moves in 25, 26 that fundamentally change your kids' lives.
Wow.
That's what's coming, I think.
I receive that. I really am a firm believer of you can become recession proof. Mm-hmm. I feel it. I feel protected by the grace of God, but I also feel protected by the field or the skills that I've acquired and developed over time. Communication, sales, content creation. These are skills that I think regardless of a recession, because what will people do when they're a little depressed? What will people do when they're trying to make more money? They're going to consume content. They're going to they're going to follow people that are going to show them the
just
way.
Think about how we open this conversation. If you're 40 years old, let's just have an honest conversation. If you start getting laid off when you're 40s and 50s, getting that next job is hard, right? Because you're probably middle management, upper management, whatever it is. If you started building a brand a couple of years ago, there's something there that could minimum add to unemployment, but maybe it's your next thing. It's like your time to move on, right? You can make a recession less painful. And again, I want people to hear me. I'm excited for what's coming, right? This is my 4th nasty, recession. So you're not going to scare me, but I do have to tell people it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And I really feel bad for folks that get laid off for no fault of their own, because we're going to have a lot of layoffs. Companies are going to get bought, sold for, pennies on the dollar. And some people are going to struggle.
Yeah.
Which now's the time to prepare for that. Turn on the camera, start building something.
Good. Dude, thank you for being on. Definitely we'll do a part 3. Maybe at your live event, we'll do a part 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to it.
Thank you.